All right, everyone, welcome back. So we're going to continue our prospect pool overviews. We took a break from them for a few days, but we're going back here with the New York Rangers today. So the Rangers are often a team that, with prospects as a whole, over the past, I'd say, 5 years or so, have been really criticized for their development of the prospects. And some of these, I feel like they might be the Rangers' fault, but others may not be. Some people argue Lexi Lafreniere, Capo Caco, even Keandre Miller sometimes. Nils Lindquist. They argue guys like that, and Vitaly Kravtsov as well. They argue guys like that a bust. They argue players like that as, guys who didn't develop well with the Rangers, or if they went to another team and they did well, they spoke out as problems. Well, part of the reason why for that is because the Rangers are really deep. They're a good team, but they really kind of bought into the rebuild instead of letting young guys grow and develop. If they let young guys grow and develop, honestly, I think they'd be better off. But they brought in other players that looked like they want to be a contender now and don't want to wait another 2 to 3 to 4 years. So I guess it makes sense, but I think they'd probably be better off in the long run if they went with that solution. But hey, we'll say if they win a cup with the team they have. Regardless, they still have a pretty good prospect pool, considering the fact. Like, the guys that I'm about to list here are very solid players and could make impacts on the team as early as next season. But, of course, we'll find out if that happens. Starting off here with Brennan Othmann, left wing from Scarborough, Canada. 6 foot, 181 pounds. He's argued as the best prospect in the Rangers organization, which is honestly pretty fair. He's a really good player and has been dynamic this past year. He was an OHL champion this past year as well with the Peterborough Petes. So, of course, he was traded there midseason from the Flint Firebirds. So, of course, he got the experience that. He was a World Junior U18 gold medal winner in 2020-21. So another good accomplishment there. He was drafted 16th overall in 2021 by the Rangers, and that was looked at as a steal of a pick, and it's already looking like that right now. 56 games played, 29 goals, 38 assists for 67 points on the Firebirds / the Petes. He's listed as skilled, gritty, and a complete player on both ends of the ice, which is a very good look for a guy like Othmann there, and it's really been hyped up as the best prospect in the Rangers pool right now, and will likely make the jump to the Wolfpack or the Rangers this coming season, I would imagine. But of course, we'll find out what path Othmann wants to take, but I would imagine he makes that jump next year and probably impresses a lot of people in camp, for sure. I think that's what happens as well. Next up then, Will Cooley, and I forget, and I'm not sure if that's how you say his name, I do apologize, but Cooley, I'm just going to say Cooley. If it's wrong, you guys can tell me in the comments. I apologize. But Cooley, I didn't realize how good this guy was, how actually impressive he's kind of been with teams he's been on. Left wing from Toronto, Canada, 6'3", 212 pounds. He was a U20 World Junior Championship winner in this past season, 22-23. He was a Hlinka Gretzky Silver winner in 1920. So, of course, he has some hardware there in his early junior career. Drafted 60th overall in 2020. He had 4 games with the Rangers this past season. He played 4 games with them, and he's taking that path as other players did, where it took him a little bit to develop. He played in the OHL and the AHL a little bit, but now he's starting to take that step to the Rangers, and I would imagine come next season, I'm not saying he will be on a full roster spot, but he will probably play more than 4 games. That's what I would imagine. Maybe he makes it out of camp, who knows, but honestly, that's a little bit of a stretch, but Cooley very well could play more than 4 games next season, and he likely will. This past year with the Wolfpack, though, played 69 games, 25 goals, 20 assists for 45 points. Those are very good numbers. I like that a lot for a guy like him. A big power forward, an AHL All-Star in his rookie year with the Wolfpack. And he's great speed as well. For a guy who's 6'3", that's awesome. Having speed like that, it's definitely good to have on a roster. And Cooley brings those assets and could be a legitimate, solid, middle 6 forward come the time he makes it to the NHL. Could that be this season? Maybe. Could that be next season? We shall see. But, of course, I think Cooley will definitely play more than 4 games with the Rangers in this coming season and probably impress some people in camp as well. Next up, then, I have Gabe Perreault, the guy they drafted this past year in the first round. Right wing from Sherbrooke, Canada, 5'11", 165 pounds. And this guy was argued as a steal where he was selected this past year's draft. He apparently is one of the better players in this draft, but fell to 23. probably because of his size, if we're being honest. I think it's probably why he fell that low. But nonetheless, he's still a great player. U18 World Junior Gold winner in 22-23, played on the same team as Cooley. He was drafted 23rd overall in 2023, as I mentioned. And I combined his stats with the U.S. National Development Program and the U.S. National Team, so I combined those stats together. And in 86 games played combined, he had 72 goals, 105 assists for 177 points, shattering Austin Matthews' record in 2015-16, I believe. So very, very interesting there to see Perreault have those numbers, and really could be a big steal for the Rangers when he comes over. He has elite hockey IQ. He will play in Boston College next year, so we won't make the jump right away, but the plan is to have him in the NHL within the next 3 years. So I'd say Boston College this coming season, most likely then AHL the season following, probably plays a few games, and then we'll come up to the Rangers that following year in, 25-26, I think? So it'll be a little bit before Perreault makes that jump, but definitely will be a player when he comes over, could make a big impact as a top 6 winger. And honestly, we don't know where the Rangers will be by then, but I definitely think that come that time, he could be a huge impact on that roster. Moving on to the defenseman, you have Zach Jones. Jones, a defenseman from Richmond, USA, 5'10", 179 pounds. A little bit of a shorter defenseman, but still has made a big impact on his teams. Won the NCAA chip in 2021, was drafted 68th overall in 2019. And he also played games with the Rangers this past year and did before too, but he's technically still a prospect. And the limit that I made myself for this was he has to play at least 20 games in the season, in one season, and if not, he has to play 30 games with the Rangers overall. And he's only played 28, so that's why he made my requirements. And he's also still technically a prospect. He played 54 games this past year with the Wolfpack, 8 goals, 23 assists, 31 points. Very good there for defensemen, and also performed very well in the playoffs, and that's something that the Rangers definitely would need because even on the articles I saw, it was listed that he can perform when it counts. So that's definitely good there for Zach Jones. And I think come next season, he could very well make a full roster spot on that blue line for New York. But of course, we'll find out what happens there. Next up, then, I have Matthew Robertson. Robertson's a little bit different from the other players. Defenseman from Edmonton, Canada, 6'4", 201 pounds. Won the Hlinka Gretzky Gold, in 2018-19. Drafted 49th overall in 2019, same year. And then this past year with the Wolfpack, he had an okay season. 57 games played, 5 goals, 18 assists, 23 points. Not a bad year for a defenseman, but this is a pivotal season for him. He needs to have a step-up year or impress teams in camp, or he's likely not going to see the NHL as much as we thought he was going to. He's 6'4". He could be a solid, tall, bulky defenseman, but, he just needs to have that breakout year, I guess, with Hartford and, play really well, and he could get a spot on the Rangers. But honestly, as I've talked about before, the Rangers' defense is so deep, it's kind of difficult to make a spot there. So Robertson's going to have a huge pivotal season coming if he wants to make the team. Dylan Garand is the final guy I want to talk about on the goalie end. And Garand's interesting with me because what I think is they signed Quick to a 1-year deal. What I'm thinking is it's not likely he will come in and be the backup, but he will play games this coming season for the Rangers. Garand definitely will. The goalie from Victoria, Canada, 6', 172 pounds. He won the Hlinka Gretzky Silver in 2019-20. Won the UJ20 Silver in 2021. Drafted 103rd overall in 2020, and he played 32 games this past year with the Wolfpack in the regular season. 13, 14, and 3 at 3.01 and a .894. Those are okay, but he took a big step in the postseason, and we knew that he could be a good goalie, and he showed that in the World Juniors as well. So he had a really good postseason. And again, what I'm imagining is he's not going to make the team out of camp. He likely will start the year with Hartford. But given an injury happens or he even just gets called up, I likely see him making his NHL debut this coming year, playing at least maybe 1 to 3 games for the Rangers. That's most likely what I see happening. I think that's the most realistic for Garand, and that's his next step in his development. Like we see Stuart Skinner did the same thing, and we'll see other players, other goalies that I talk about on this list do the same thing as well. So definitely something to keep in mind there. Other prospects that are in the pool that nobody really talked about. Adam Sikora, another notable forward there. Bryce McConnell Barker, forward Brett Berard, and then another defenseman there in Drew Forrescue. And that is your prospect pool overview for the New York Rangers. Let me know your thoughts down below. Thank you all for watching. We'll do another team tomorrow or the next day. I'm not really sure. I want to make a top 50 prospects video because I made that a while ago, but I might wait till I'm done this series. But of course, we'll find out. We're like 5 teams in. But anyways, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Adios.